This is one of those moments in television where the host is pretending to actually read. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you or my guest, because when I take this home, I'm going to really be reading it. This is the program from the latest Cirque du Soleil production here on the grounds of the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Kuza by Cirque du Soleil. This is Michael Smith, and this is a guy who has among the two best jobs in the world. I have the other one.
Okay.
The artistic director of Kuza. What a background you've had, though. Can you tell me biographically in 40 seconds all the things that you've done since you began to be a part of Cirque du Soleil?
Since I became part of Cirque du Soleil, I have worked on 4 different Cirque du Soleil shows.
You have to give us the names because everybody's gone to Vegas.
On Alegria, Dralion, Varakai, and Kuza. I've not worked on the resident shows in Vegas. I like the touring shows. I like to be in the touring show division because I like to see the show in the big top. I think it's much more exciting.
Millions of people have been mesmerized, including my daughter. I told you the story about calling from Southern California saying, Daddy, remember when we fell asleep in Ringling Brothers? Pardon me, brothers. But in fact, they said, it was so long, and I don't like particularly the way they treated the animals. This was a circus without animals, just breathtaking performances. And that was the first time that I'd ever heard about Cirque du Soleil. But before that, there were some street performers in Montreal that decided what?
They wanted to reinvent circus. They wanted to make it more tangible and more real. It's not just about the fear and wonder of a circus act and people doing these incredible things. It's about making an emotional connection using theater so that when the audience come in, they're wowed by the incredible things people are doing, but we take them on a journey. We don't create a narrative, but we create connections with our characters that bring the audience into our universe. So there's an emotional journey, so it becomes a more fulfilling experience for an audience member.
Tell a young man that I just talked to a matter of days ago, an ill-informed young man, but a very well-educated young man who's been too busy to find out anything about Cirque du Soleil, and he asked me, what is that? How do you describe it in a sentence?
I think a totally unique entertainment company that try in every way possible to create something new every time we create a new show, which after 28 years, it's our anniversary today, that becomes more difficult, and more people are brought in to try and access the best talent in the world to produce shows for a family audience. And there's few companies that are willing to take those risks these days, and I think it's a shame.
A family audience will often also be redefined as boring. You cannot be bored in Cirque du Soleil because of the incredible things that are going on, but you also do an adult show in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Right? There's a show with a lot of sensuality. There's a show in water, there's a show with Beatle music, there's a show with Elvis Presley music. Has there ever been a history of a flop?
Yes. And I think, and it was recent. It was a show we did on Broadway called Banana Spiel. And I think that it was a very good experience for the company to swallow and make sure that we don't become too arrogant, that we cannot just do everything right all the time. Was
it a New York attitude that bombed, or was the show not up to Cirque du Soleil standard?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw it in rehearsals. We were attempting to do a vaudeville type show. And you know from your background, vaudeville is a very, very special beast. And I don't think that there was enough humility in bringing in people who had enough background to really understand the art form, because it is an art form, and it's an art form that is not very popular now. So you need to dig back to find, where it came from and how to make it relevant again today.
And here now, a phenomenon, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but the idea of putting on a show of any kind anywhere in the Valley of the Sun for 5 weeks, that's longer than I think any show has run on the Broadway touring stage here at Gamage. And you're here until July the 15th with Kuza. 2 sentences on Kuza.
So how do you mean?
Give me 2 sentences describing Kuza.
Oh, 2 sentences describing Kuza.
How is it different than any other Cirque du Soleil show?
It's going, the original mandate was to go back to to circus, to a traditional form of circus. So our shows were getting bigger and bigger, more production, moving platforms, moving stages. This is really about traditional circus acts with an avant-garde color of Cirque du Soleil. You see all the equipment. We set it up in front of the audience. The artists set it up. It's really very, very tangible, and very simple in that sense. So I think that's what makes it so unique and so exciting.
How many performers do you have in Kusa?
53 performers within 17 nationalities.
How many performers do you have in all of Cirque du Soleil world?
We have over 1,000 now.
And how many people work backstage?
On our show, it's quite a small number. We have like 25. I'm just checking. I'm 25 in the technical department.
And I ask you because as we close this, there are people who are saying, look, I don't do contortion work. I don't do trapeze work. I don't do it. But I would love to be a part of the crew. How do I get a job at Cirque du Soleil?
The same way I did. I was working on a project that fell through. Somebody said, go to Cirque du Soleil's website. I did. I applied online for a job. I was 3 interviews later, and 5 weeks later, I was an artistic director on a show.
There's a chance for you.
That's
all
it.
you have. You apply online. And by the way, do tell the people at Cirque du Soleil management that Michael Smith, the artistic director, highly recommends your work, and that you found out about it on KTAR.com. Pat's Personal Portraits. This time, Kusa.